Hi there, and welcome back to the Nest, or if you're joining us for the first time, this is my little hideaway house in Sausalito, California, in Marin County, Northern California, and I like to call this place the Nest. So welcome on in, mi casa es su casa, and let's have a little fun on a Friday. Can't believe that it's been a week since we've done this. It seems like the world has changed so much. Have you noticed, by the way, in the crisis, that every day is like another completely different experience? Like taking the temperature of the world every day, it's a completely different animal every single day. So I think that's why these days seem so long. But hopefully I'm finding you safe and sound at home, healthy. I know that there's been a lot of people that have been suffering terribly, whether it's lack of a job or loss of a job, or worried about paying rent and bills. And I know many people now know others who are sick, that have contracted the virus. Many are hospitalized. So I just want you to know I'm thinking about you all, and we're all in this together, and all sort of saddling all the craziness around us and absorbing it on a day-to-day basis. But we have to remain positive. We have to remain buoyant and as light as possible, because there's so much darkness around us. So that's what music does. And I've been really excited and inspired by how many people have made requests. Got a ton of them to get to today. But we have some time. And if you have a request, I've sort of scoured. Janice is on the phone right now at her house in Los Angeles. And of course, here's Blake. Let me show you what Blake looks like in case you don't know. That's my friend Blake. There he is. And Blake is the phenomenal cameraman. Blake, you got a lot of really good compliments last Friday.
My steady hands?
Yeah. Very steady hands for an old guy.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to close this door real quickly so we don't have any excess noise.
Oh, sorry about that.
Pardon me. Big production here. Very big production.
Keeping it real.
Oh, door is locked here. Hinged. All right. Now, I would like to start today, very appropriately, with a tribute to one of the greatest artists of all time. If you're on this channel watching me, then I would have to say there's a guarantee that you not only have, but love the music of Bill Withers. And we lost this great American treasure. I guess I would say a global treasure, because his music was not confined to the United States. His music was global. People around the world love that man. I feel very blessed that I got a chance to know him. We made music together. We hung out together, and in fact, my buddy Paxton Baker, from who used to work at BET, he organized this concert for the anniversary of the march, the Selma March, and he invited me to be a part of it. And Bill was there, and B.B. Winans was there. I mean, it was a who's who of people that were there, and I got a chance to. I'll never forget this, because it was so difficult getting there. I had a travel day from hell. I was coming from someplace that was so hard to get to Selma, Alabama on the day. We've all had travel days from hell. Well, anyway, I got there. I was supposed to play with B.B. Winans that day in BB's set. And I got there, and as I got there, I was so late that BB was just coming off stage. And I felt so bad that I missed the show. And so BB and me and Bill Withers were hanging out all day, just backstage, shooting the you-know-what. And Bill said, well, why don't you, if you missed BB's show, why don't you just come up with us? And Bill was not singing. It was a group of people that were doing Bill Withers music, but he was going to be on stage. And he said, just come up and play with us. I'll never forget that simple act of kindness that he showed to me. But that's who he was. He was, my nickname for him was like E.F. Hutton, because when he talked, he had this wonderful speaking voice as well as incredible singing voice. And when he spoke, it was like everybody leaned in. What's Bill going to say? What is he going to say next? He was a beautiful human being and an amazing talent. And today, even though it's a beautiful day, the sun is shining. There ain't no sunshine, because we don't have Bill Withers anymore. But he left us a treasure trove of amazing songs. So to start today's concert, home concert, here's a little Bill Withers. I love you, Bill Withers. Wherever you are, rest in peace for all eternity. And thank you, thank you, thank you. We're sending love to his family, Marcia, his beautiful wife, Corey, Todd, his kids, and of course to all the fans of Bill Withers around the world. What a huge loss today. Now, we usually do these things, well, we've only done a few of them, but on every one that we've done, so far, I've played one brand new song, and I would like to play a little bit of a song that I wrote with, it's brand new. Up till like a couple of days ago, it didn't even have a name. I wrote it with a very talented saxophone player out of New York. His name is David Mann. And we wrote this song the day after the world fell apart in mid-March. I was in New York, he lives in New York, and I was in New York for a couple of weeks writing music for this new album. And I went over to David's house. This was the day after Broadway closed, the NBA canceled its season. It was after the day after Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson were, it was announced that they had COVID-19. And so it was just the realization that our lives were about to change very significantly. And there we were, David and I, before the quarantine, writing this song. And we knew intuitively what was going to happen. So we wrote this very hopeful song about like putting ourselves into the future, what it's going to feel like the day the quarantine is lifted. The day that we get the all clear, go out and hug your neighbors and see your family members that you haven't seen for all this time. We don't know how long this whole thing is going to last, right? And so the idea of focusing on that happy day when we get the all clear sign that we can resume our lives and hug the people that we want to and play music again and go to the movies, the simple pleasures. So that's what this song is about, and it's called A New Day. Very hopeful melody. I'm going to play a little bit of it for you right now, and thank you, David Mann, for helping me write this song. There's just a little taste of a new day, and I can taste that day coming. It's going to be so sweet. It's coming. Focus on the positive. It is coming. One day, God willing, soon. By the way, I wanted to say a big thank you to Blake, because in addition to being my trusty cameraman, he brought me masks today. And I want to say thank you, Blake.
You're welcome.
Very nice. And I think that we're...
Wear them in good health.
Is it in good health, indeed. Good health to all of us. I think that this is coming down the pike, right? That we're going to be needing to wear a mask of some sort in public, when we go out in public. Is that basically the... That's
my understanding, yeah.
So I'm going to have to figure out how to play the sax with a mask on. You have to give me a minute to think about that one. Okay? It's coming. Not to make light of it. You want me to try? Let me see if I can try it right now. I don't want to make light of this, but let me just see if it's possible. Because if it's possible, Blake, this could be
it's a whole new look.
It's a whole new career angle for me. Like sax, mask. Okay.
Get it under your glasses there.
Under the glasses?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
So let me take this next request. This is from Beth Sokol, and she would like to hear This Guy's in Love. Now, this will be a very interesting experiment to see if this works. Hold on. actually worked.
You look a little creepy.
Yeah, it's maybe not a long-term thing. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Beth, for that request. And by the way, speaking of these, I just want to say, as I said last week and the week before, I want to send a big, huge shout out, a gratitude of gratitudes to all the healthcare workers that are on the front lines of this epidemic, of this crisis. A very good friend of mine is a nurse in Southern California, and he works the overnight shift at a hospital down there in kind of the thick of it. And I spent a little bit of time. His name is Carlu. I call him Adobo. And Adobo gave me the most harrowing account of really what it's like in the front lines in the hospital these days. And so I just want to say a big thank you to all the nurses, all the doctors, all the healthcare workers, all the people that work at the hospital, our first responders, firemen, the whole fire team, the police all around the country. We just want to say thank you so much. You have jobs that right now are thankless, and yet you still show up for work and you still do your job, and it is so impressive and so inspiring to all of us. So if you are a healthcare worker or a first responder or what have you, thank you very much from all of us. Okay, continuing with the music, I would like to, I have a request from a friend of mine named Tom Haney in Cornwall, UK. He's a huge Luther Vandross fan. So am I. So, Tom, you wanted to hear If Only for One Night. What a great piece of music that is, written by the great Brenda Russell. Thank you, Brenda Russell, if you're watching. Okay, Frank Cody wanted to hear a great Johnny Mandel song called Emily, not the Emily that I wrote for my goddaughter, but the original Emily, which I don't really know, Frank. I'm so sorry, but I think it goes like this, something like this. That's all I remember. I'm so sorry. You know, if I did this like 10 years ago when I was in my mid-40s or late 40s, I would be a lot better. Because, truthfully, I can't remember, you know what. So, sorry about that, Frank. All right. One last bit before we get to a bunch of the online requests. My music director for the last many, many years, Randy Jacobs. If you're watching, Randy, happy birthday tomorrow. I think tomorrow is your birthday. So,
Happy birthday, Randy.
Happy birthday. Randy is, if anybody who's seen my shows, or Randy plays with so many other artists as well. He's like the go-to guy on guitar for the world of contemporary jazz and smooth jazz and blues. He is one of the greatest musicians and one of the greatest human beings on the planet. And he and his beautiful wife, Blanca, I just want to send a little happy birthday love to you right now. So a little happy birthday for Randy Jacobs. Love you, Randy.
Woo!
Okay, time now for some requests. Ronnie Perlute, she wanted to hear the theme from Schindler's List, which I recorded on the At the Movies project. That is John Williams, one of the great composers of all time, and probably the foremost film composer of all time. Beautiful melody. Here you go. the way, I got a chance to meet John Williams many years ago, and it was we were doing some sort of benefit together, and I met him backstage, and I introduced myself to him, and I said, Mr. Williams, I'm so honored to meet you, and I was very honored to play your song, which I think was, he's written so many amazing pieces of music, from Star Wars to Superman to Indiana Jones, you name it. But I think this is probably his most beautiful melody that he ever wrote. So I said I had the great honor of playing that melody and recording it for my movies album, and he looked at me and he said, I didn't know you played violin. Because it's a violin piece. Yeah, thank you very much. All right. Thank you, Ronnie, for that request. Let's see here. Patricia Rossi, the definition of beautiful. Taste of that for you, Patricia. That's a good song. Thank you very much. Millie Gleckman. Hi, Millie. This request is a good one, especially for the time that we are living in right now. It's a good request. The song called The Dance, which was the title track to an album of mine, a little over 20 years old, called The Dance. And this is a Garth Brooks song. Garth didn't write it, but it was written by a man named Tony Arata. And one of the most amazing pieces of music, because it talks about the pain of life. To be alive is to experience all aspects of life. What we're going through right now is a perfect example. We're going through a very painful, unprecedented, painful time in our lives. And yet at the same time, there are all these glimmers of hope. There's all these blessings and miracles that are happening right in front of our eyes. People coming together, people doing things in their communities that they've never done before. Even the fact that we're on our own right now, not able to see people, the social calendar is as busy as it ever was, just being online. And people actually, have you noticed this? That people are actually answering their cell phones? It's like, for the longest time, you call someone, you're never going to get anybody on the phone. People actually answer now. They answer FaceTime calls. They answer emails. So anyway, that's one of the positives. And this is a song, even though I'm not going to be able to sing it for you, sorry, you don't want to hear that, I will play a little bit of the melody. Check out Garth Brooks' version of that song. It will tear your heart out. One of the most beautiful songs ever written. Thank you, Tony Arata, for writing that song. Okay. Thank you, Millie, for your requests. Lynn Lyons writes, Dave, would you play Take the A Train? And she wrote, come on, you didn't do any of my requests yet. All right, Lynn Lyons, I won't be able to make that claim anymore. Here's a little Duke Ellington. Thank you. I like that song so much. Amore Solomons, good evening from Cape Town, South Africa. Dave, pretty please if you can squeeze it in, Faces of the Heart. Thank you, Amore, for that. Okay. Oh, here's a really Gail Boykin Brown. I enjoy you on watercolors. Thank you very much, Gail. And now have this to look forward to. It would be great if you played Start All Over Again. Once we are through the pandemic, we'll all be hitting the reset button, it seems. God bless. That's a great song. It's a vocal song that appeared on the album Hello Tomorrow. It was written by this insanely talented singer-songwriter by the name of Dana Glover. And it's a vocal song, and to play it on the saxophone wouldn't do it justice because you won't be able to hear the lyrics. But that song right now, Dana wrote it, is very apropos for what what's going on in the world right now, and looking towards that time when we can, even when times are the bleakest, which for many, many people around the world, this is perhaps the bleakest time of our lives. And yet, even with that, there's still that hope, that glimmer that things will get better. And that's what that song is about. It's called Start All Over Again. So if you think about it, just go on Spotify or Apple Music or however you get your music and look for my album Hello Tomorrow, and on that album you will find Start All Over Again. Hopefully it will provide some comfort for you right now, and thank you very much for your comment, Gail. Let's see here. Nina Marie Morini, a couple of suggestions: Open Arms by Journey and Just the Way You Are by Billy Joel. Billy Joel. When we get to more requests. That was a good one. I really like that. Thank you, Nina Marie Morini. Celebrate Me Home by Kenny Loggins from Travis Sue Smith. Kenny is such a talented guy. Requests are so good, but they're hard to play on saxophone. So, especially if they're vocal songs, so you kind of got to give me a little extra leeway on that one. I feel you doing that right now, and I appreciate it greatly. I love that song, though. Thank you very much. Here's one from Cheryl Zubel. And she writes, my heart is breaking now. No more last days of school. No class picnic. School year over. That's it, no more. When that happens, DK, a teacher's heart not only aches, it breaks. Working with developmentally delayed kids, it was the song It's Always Been You that I could count on to calm their fears. Since I can't see the kids I work with, it would be nice to hear that song. Aw, this touches my heart so deeply. Thank you, Cheryl. And thank you to all the teachers whose class year was so abruptly cut short this year. And I think about my niece, Isabella, who is graduating high school this year. She doesn't have a prom. She won't have a high school graduation. My heart aches for all those kids that will not be able to experience the things that they were promised their whole lives. And especially for teachers, I understand your pain, Cheryl. So here's a little bit of It's Always Been You. I hope it comforts you in this time. Hope that helped a little bit for you. Okay, let's see here. Hi, Dave. If you can play any song from Grover Washington Jr. All right, that comes from Devrick S. Grant. Thank you, Devrick. I like the name Devrick. That's a tough choice with Grover Washington Jr. music because pretty much every song that he played was a hit. He had like 600 top 10 hits. I mean, that guy was a legend. And I have to tell you too, my computer's going to go to sleep very soon because my battery is low. Will that work in this, do you think?
No, if you wanted to ask Janice. Michigan.
Yeah. Anyway, quick story about Grover Washington Jr. When I met him the first time that I met him, I was so excited to meet him. And it was very beginning of my career. It was 1991. And I was a nervous wreck. And we were a part of this event together. And we were all meeting in the lobby, a bunch of saxophone players. And I came down the elevator. And there he was. And he saw me. And I think he knew intuitively how nervous I was to meet him. And all he did was this. He had opened his arms as if for me to go and hug him, which is exactly what I did. I just went right in and nuzzled up to my idol. Grover Washington Jr., may you rest in peace. What a phenomenal talent. Okay, Blake, let me just quickly get my charger. I should have planned for this better.
Slight intermission.
Okay.
You be okay?
We might need to do
We can adjust.
Adjustment. Hold on. Hey, Janice.
Hi.
How are people dealing with everything right now? The fact that this is not a professionally organized thing. Are they upset?
You mean the people on Facebook Live?
Right.
No, they're loving this. They're really enjoying it.
Okay. So they're not upset that my computer ran out of gas?
You mean your phone?
No, my computer.
Laptop.
Oh.
It's called a laptop.
My laptop. Okay.
We're all hanging in here for you, Dave.
Is there at least 12 people here?
Over 1,000.
Over 1,000? That includes my family and my friends that I've had to pay to join us here, just in case.
Why don't we say hi to Greg Karukas, who is
Greg Karukas is watching right now?
He is.
Oh, Greg Karukas, I love you. Greg was one of my very first, this will date him and me. Greg was one of my first gigs. I played in his band before I had pretty much any other gig other than weddings and bar mitzvahs. He gave me a start way back when. He's from Baltimore, I think he's from Baltimore, Maryland, and he moved out to California. He put a band together that was playing in Los Angeles at this place. We did gigs at this place, where was that? In Encino, Le Cafe, I think it was. And we played it in Westwood and did a bunch of gigs, and then we became great friends, recorded together. He was the music director of our cruise for a few years, and he's an amazing talent, incredible keyboardist, so be sure to check out Greg Karukas online if you don't know him yet. And hi, buddy. Nice to see you. Okay, anybody else, Janice, that we need to know right now?
That's on here.
Or do you have?
Jason Gorov says you are a mensch.
Hi, Jason.
And,
Gotta play this in again. Oh wait, Janice, can you please talk to everybody while I get a quick extension cord so I can actually see my laptop?
wow. So your neighbor CG Ware says it never has to be professional. Hello?
Keep going, Janice.
Oh my God,
It's
you
just
guys are so
me.
funny.
We're losing viewers as we speak. It's dropping.
No,
I'm just kidding.
They're hanging on. They're hanging
No,
on
it's all
because they
good.
want us to get through to
There
their
it is.
requests, you know?
Okay.
So, are you ready?
Getting
A
close.
request?
Extension
A lot
cord.
of requests for honey dip, by the way.
Who's that?
A lot of requests for a honey dip.
For honey dipped.
Okay. I'm gonna do that right now for you. Now that I'm back.
Okay.
Honey dipped.
Woo!
All right, Blakey, come on over here. We'll get back to some of these requests. Janice, shout in anytime if you have anything for me.
Okay, well, here's a special one, and I don't want to butcher his last name, but Joe Bartolone, he says that he's Chuck Mangione's cousin, and he would like you to play Feel So Good.
Wow, Chuck Mangione. I love Chuck Mangione. I grew up listening to him. Okay, here's a little Feel So Good. No, that's Morning Dance.
Close.
Aspirant Gyra. Remember when I was talking to you a few minutes ago about my age? That's a perfect example of my senior citizenship at work. That was Spyra Gyra, Morning Dance. Here is what I hope will be Feel So Good by Chuck Mangione. And if you caught that I played the wrong song, you get an extra 10 points. I didn't realize that this was a game, but we might actually start a new game. See if Dave can play the song correctly. No betting allowed. No. Is that it? Does that sound like Feel So Good?
Janice.
I'm gonna have to work on that one.
So can I just read one comment from CG?
Yeah.
Your neighbor next door?
Yeah.
She says you sound just as good through the walls.
Thank you, CG. That's my downstairs neighbor. So sweet. Here's one from Susanna Moral Habonero. And she's living in Madrid right now. Madrid is one of the places in the world that has been very, very hard hit in the crisis. If you watch any television, you can see what's going on over there. It's very, very sad. So we want to just say to you, Susanna, and all of your country people, we are with you in solidarity and sending you love. And she wants to hear What a Wonderful World. I think I might know this one. Wish me luck. Song is so apropos for these moments that we're living in right now. Randall Meyer would like to hear I Believe. Thank you for that one. That's a sleeper on one of my albums. Haven't played that one in a long time. Okay, I know that there was a bunch of requests for Know You by Heart, and I would like to play a little bit of that song. I can't remember exactly who requested it, but if you did, there was a bunch of them. This is for you, and this is a song too, a sleeper. It was on the album The Dance, and this song has always been, it never was a single. We rarely play it out live, but this always has been one of my favorites. And hopefully this melody provides some soothing and comfort on a Friday afternoon/evening for you. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you being here. There's so many other places that you can be. In fact, I know that there's even other concerts going on right now. In fact, my dear friend Boney James has got a Facebook Live project right now. I would not be offended in the least if you left and went to his. He's probably got more production value in his. He's very good. All right, that's good. There's also a show that's happening tonight, I believe, by Jake Shimabukuro, who I like to call Jake Shimmers. Shimmers is going to be doing one Facebook Live, I think, later on this evening. And if you don't know who Jake is, Jake has been on our cruises. We've collaborated together. He is the single greatest ukulele player that ever played that instrument. And if you don't know who he is, do yourself a favor and just type in the word Jake in YouTube. Jake ukulele, okay? And his videos will pop up. It is astounding what he can do on that little instrument. 4 strings makes it sound like an orchestra. So, Shimmers, if you're watching, you're probably not. You're getting ready for your show. I love you, buddy.
And then
Miss
Rick.
you.
Don't forget Rick's.
Oh, and Rick Braun, too, is going to be, as usual, I believe this evening at 6 o'clock, 6 p.m.
6:30.
6:30 Pacific time. My buddy and yours, Rick Braun, the phenomenal trumpet player and one of my greatest friends of all time, will be doing a YouTube, his Rick's Cafe on YouTube. So I think if you just type in Rick's Cafe, Rick Braun on YouTube, you'll find the link. He'll be going live at 6:30 Pacific tonight. So much music that's happening right now online.
And then the birthday boy, Randy Jacobs, is on the line.
He's on the line
He's
where?
He's now on. And
Really?
He made a request
Randy Jacobs made a request?
for Definition of Love.
Definition of Beautiful?
Beautiful? Sorry.
I played that one already before you came on.
Since it's his birthday.
You're late, man. But since it is your birthday, here's a little definition of beautiful. And I know you want to play this. You want me to play this for your beautiful wife, don't you? I know you. Trying to score some points. Good I love you, Randy. I love you, Randy Jacobs. Okay, happy birthday. Here are a couple more. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I really appreciate you being here, but I know you got other things to do, like cook dinner, call your friends. Here's a really good one. Nosco Sax. Nosco Sax says, Dave, can you play Kindness? Now, Kindness is a beautiful melody that was written by a friend of mine named Sergei Chipenko, who is one of the great keyboardists out of Moscow. Lives in Los Angeles now with his wife, Valeria, and their 2 kids. But he wrote one of the great melodies for alto saxophone. It's called Kindness, which is something... he recorded it again. I played on the album. A new album is going to be coming out hopefully this year of his music. And we did a new version of this song. But he was the reason why I went to, many years ago, and went there to play several times in Russia and the Ukraine as well. And so I'm very grateful to Sergei for introducing me to that lifestyle, to that incredible culture, and of course his music. So here's one of his songs called Kindness, something that we all need to focus on right now. We're all billionaires in kindness. You don't even know that. We've got billions of dollars of kindness in our pockets, so we can start using those right away. It goes on, and it is one of the most beautiful melodies for the saxophone. So he is. I'm not sure if Sergey is on, but I hope he is. Bonnie Polkinghorn requested Popsicle Toes. Michael Franks. I'm going to work on that this week, and I'm going to come back next week and really, really work on Popsicle Toes. One of my favorite songs, but because it's a vocal song, it's not easy to play on the set. But thank you very much for the request. Natalie wanted to hear Anything's Possible. Let's see. Elder Davis McCants wants to hear Wake Up Call. Range 122. These are some Instagram requests, by the way. Red Range 122 would like to, she or he says, do something Christmassy. Here's one thing I can tell you, that I hope that we're out of this very, very soon. I hope that, God willing, we are able to resume our lives already in progress. I don't think that it will be before the summertime. I have no idea. None of us do. But I think for the next couple of months, we're probably going to, this is sort of our reality for the next little while. But maybe, God willing, that in the summertime we can start seeing some concerts and some events pop up that we can attend if we feel confident enough in the landscape. But one thing I'm really, really praying for is that we're able to do our Christmas tour this year. We have done, if you know me, you know that for a nice Jewish boy, I've had a whole lot of Christmas music in my life. And this year is going to be our 23rd annual Christmas tour. And I'm so excited about our lineup, which I shouldn't really mention now, but I don't see why not, because all the rules are over. You know, the old rules don't matter anymore in the COVID crisis. So while I would normally wait till after summer to announce who's going to be on our Christmas tour, I'm going to do it right now, because I'm very excited that Jonathan Butler, my brother, will be back. And if you've seen our Christmas show, you know that Jonathan Butler is my, you know, if there's me, there's usually him. He is the epitome of Christmas. And I love him so much. So he's going to be joining us again. Rick Braun will be with us this year. And for the first time ever on a Christmas tour, I'm very proud to say that my dear friend and yours, Richard Elliott, will be joining us for this year's Christmas tour. So I'm praying that we are able to do it. And I think by then we should be able to. So if we can all hold that intention, I would love for shows to start happening way sooner than that. And I think that they will. But at the worst case scenario, hopefully we can be reunited for Christmas. So with that in mind, here's a little Christmas music from, who was it? Red Range 122. We're all dreaming of a white Christmas or a safe Christmas. Wouldn't that be lovely? All right, Janice, I think we're going to be wrapping up soon. And I want to just say to the many people who made requests that I didn't get to, it's like my appetite or my eyes are bigger than my mouth. When you go to a smorgasbord or a buffet and you take a bunch on your plate, usually I eat it, but usually way too much food. So I looked at all the requests that came in and I said, I can do all these in an hour, no problem. Well, I think I got to about 4%. So I apologize if I didn't make it to your request, but I will study these and maybe we'll get it in next week. But if you didn't get your request answered, make another request. We'll keep this going. As long as you would like to have these Friday afternoon concerts be around, I'm happy to do them. More than happy, actually quite honored and quite fortunate to have this outlet, because otherwise I wouldn't be playing. I wouldn't play the saxophone. This is good, good practicing for me. A little rehearsal. Can't let these lips get too fat. All right, so Janice, is there anything else that we'd like to get into?
Before we get on with our evening, I want to just say Christina Buckingham, she would like to hear Love is on the Way. She listens to it daily because it gets her through her day as an Amazon delivery driver. You know how we need them in our lives?
We sure do, Christina. Thank you very, very much for what you're doing, being out there in public. And there's still a lot of us that have to, because we have essential jobs, not just healthcare workers, but people who are working in pharmacies and people who are working in supermarkets. What was that, Janice?
The grocery stores.
Yeah, grocery stores, Amazon delivery people, the people who bring the what was the name of the place that you used at one time? Instacart.
Yeah, that's great service. Thank
great
you, guys.
Services that need to be essential right now. So this is not just for you, Christina. It's for all the people that are working right now, bringing us things, making our lives as palatable as possible given the crisis that's going on around us. So here's a little bit of Love is on the Way to wrap things up for us today. Ended on a little bright note there. It's a minor key. We can't end this show in a minor key. We have to end it in a major key to keep the positivity, to keep the good attitudes, to keep our sanity, and to keep our heads straight in this crazy time that we're living in. So I want to wish you a beautiful rest of your Friday and tell you thank you very much for joining me for the last hour or so, and really, really appreciate it. I want to take this opportunity to also say thank you to you, because the people who are watching this are the people that I get up for every day of my life. You have no idea how much you mean to me and how much your support has meant to me for these last 30 plus years. And I hold you in my heart, especially in these times where we can't see each other. But I know you're there. I know you're there, and I appreciate you so much. And I'm there for you as well. We're going to get through this. We will emerge from it stronger and better. I really, truly believe that. So hang in there with all that's going on in your world. Keep a bright light going at all times, even in the darkness. And have a beautiful weekend, restful weekend. I think think that's the thing that we all need too, is to keep our rest going too. And I'll look forward to seeing you back next week. Be well. Lots of love. I want to say a big thank you to Blake Kuwahara.
My pleasure. Do you take? I think we should start a new precedent.
Yeah.
And do an encore.
An encore?
An encore. Can you do an encore?
Bill Withers songs.
Yeah, because everybody's been everyone's been asking for another one from Bill Withers.
If you really want to do an encore, then let me leave and then you bring me back.
Okay.
All right. So good night. Good night, everybody. Good night.
Woo! Woo! More. We want more.
No. Stop.
More. One more.
No. Really, stop it.
Quick, before you start losing all your listeners.
Hi. What would you like to hear? Bill Withers. Yeah. By the way, I started this show, in case you missed it, I started the show with a tribute to Bill Withers, my dear friend and inspiration. And what an incredible man he was. An incredible gift that he gave the world that we will be enjoying for generations to come. And was there any particular songs that people wanted to hear? Lean on Me?
Lean on Me, yeah.
Okay. And this is for all of you and for Bill, wherever he is. Have to lean on each other during this time, that is for sure. What a beautiful anthem for us to keep right next to our hearts for this whole crisis. Thank you, Bill Withers. Thank you, Blake Kuwahara. Thank you,
Pleasure.
Janice, on the phone from Los
You're
Angeles.
welcome.
And have a beautiful and blessed weekend. And thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.